we get into this set right here, what do you think about this matchup? What do you think about Bayonetta, like going into the meta in 2023?
So I think Bayonetta is like weirdly positioned in a metagame that is centered around like stationary, rooted characters that have wide array of follow-ups that are either true or just really consistent or like just really big and punishing bread and butters. And she's a character uniquely positioned to outmaneuver literally all of them. Think Steve, think Kazuya, think Terry, think like even other characters that have been in the game for a very long time, like Rob. Like the power of Bayonetta is that she's eternally flexible, and you can play into that flexibility incredibly well, which includes a character like Link, who despite having a lot of really good anti-airs and means to cover space, is natively slow and heavy, and once Bayonetta finds that one hit, total combo.
Yeah, I feel like in this matchup specifically, like with the advanced maneuverability with a crazy spot dodge in the middle of which time I believe is DeltaForce right there. Having advanced mobility against a character like Link can be really, really helpful because there are some characters who are so big, just slow in front of walls or whatever, and Link can just formulate that wall really easy. But Bayonetta, of course, is the originator of the afterburner kick in the air, which is just a crazy burst option in and of itself. Though I do believe I did just witness it get stuffed out by Boomerang. I think I saw that just happen. That alone, I feel like, is going to be kind of huge for DeltaForce going into this matchup. But like you mentioned, you can say what you will about Bayonetta in this game, my friend, as the bat within only getting the first hit of the forward smash, but eating the second one. Once the character's in, she still does crazy damage. Some things don't change.
Yeah, the damage certainly on display here from GTQ, but you gotta find the means to close out the stock here, and up tilt into back air may do it. Some sort of follow-up into a like a witch twist forward air. A lot of means to close out stocks here, as well as the ever-present witch time, which is so prevalent in this matchup as well as any other matchup with when it comes to projectiles. Because if you witch time the Boomerang while Link is in range, Link is also in that slowdown and ripe for the picking, as we've seen a couple times already during this game one.
Yeah, this is 2023. Like you mentioned, Bayonetta's got setups to be able to get her kills this time around. No like 2018 where we're just spamming back air because we didn't know what to do with her yet or anything, which back then was even weaker, I believe, than it is now, if I'm not mistaken, as that's going to take the stock right there. First one after damn near 2.5 minutes, I believe, going to DeltaForce, doing a wonderful job taking his time against a character who can crazy reverse you as hard as Bayonetta.
Oh, for sure. And we're seeing the dividends, right, of utilization of like just really strong, grounded gameplay, trying to utilize Link in neutral air, ends up trying to read the air dodge, falls into a witch time into forward smash. Clean stuff already from DeltaForce, though, holding a very solid lead. And that when you're Link here, Link with a lot of his raw hits being so strong, we're already encroaching on the absolutely kill percent. DeltaForce was cooking, and he's been cooking all day here in Nintunas. I saw him up B off stage, like or bomb up B off stage in pools. He's been ready to do that to anybody.
My man's damn near playing ping pong with himself. That was crazy. I was about to say, like, is there a ping pong table downstairs? We got a couple pool tables. Yeah, I wish too. I can understand that might be a little messy in a gaming arcade. You know, that'll go flying everywhere. But regardless, we got ping pong. We don't got it downstairs. We got it right in here, man. Link players with that awareness. And like you mentioned, this ain't no Link of the former era, my friend. Link is in this game, we all know, has an actual sword in this game. It's got a lot of range, as well as just the crazy power that Link has always had beforehand. So if he was able to link a forward air out of that, it would have killed. But right here, taking his time, recognizing he's got him stuck in shield on the platform, so the threat of which time is not necessarily there as far as reversals. Speaking of reversals, and disadvantage now is DeltaForce as GrlyTeenQueen putting on a lot of pressure, but the cute little guns right there to just keep that pressure on by the ledge. Trying to re-jump, but just winds up resetting neutral instead.
Yeah, the damage is certainly there, but I'm really enjoying how DeltaForce has just been resolute in the game plan of he has the ability to chip away time and time again, and an all-purpose kill throw as an up throw instead of Bayonetta's more situational forward throw.
Yeah.
So as long as he plays grounded, hunts for a grab close to 150, that's a solid win condition, but a frame trap in and of itself from Teju's landing the double back air kind of turns that win condition on its head here, Nintunas.
And I like what you mentioned earlier about like that unique throw of Bayonetta's. It's not too often in Smash Ultimate where you see a character with a back throw, but with a forward throw that kills. And people don't always think about like the kind of pressure that can create on a ledge. You know, beyond guns being able to just like needle you and force you back down to the ledge, as well as this crazy string coming out from GrlyTeenQueen, racking up to 86 already. The fact that Bayonetta does not have to turn around or like reverse aerial rush, roll behind you from the ledge, just give up some sort of initial frame frames to be able to get you with the kill throw, instead can just react to neutral get up if they can react to it properly. That alone is huge. Like, sort of like Pit, basically, or other characters that have like those crazy forward throws.
It creates a 50-50 on ledge that we may be seeing steadily. Oh, the witch time is going to actually wrap up that game number 1. Just like that, the returning boomerang, usually a player's best friend, turns into your greatest foe as DeltaForce drops that first game to GrlyTeenQueen, Tejuice, Slayjuice. He's out here taking names.
Yeah, there's a lot of characters with reflectors, right, who normally, like, if they run over to the other side of the stage, you know, boomerang whiffs or whatever, I'll reflect it back at you. But there's pretty much only one character whose counter move pretty much stops time for a second and can help secure the kill. And just forgetting about it for a second is DeltaForce actually shaking his head right there in the player cam at the end of that right there. Feels like he should have been aware of that. There's one of those, like, oh, this matchup moments. Okay, I got to remember that, you know, like, because he feels like that's something he should have known. But GrlyTeenQueen taking advantage of that and actually saving that option for when he needed it right towards the end of the game for when they needed that. So really good on GrlyTeenQueen. Good situational awareness as well as resource management, I should say, going into game number 1. The question is, what other mix-ups are they going to be able to have going into game number 2?
It's an interesting thought to kind of put together as we head over to what I believe is Battlefield. Yeah, just a standard Battlefield, trying to utilize those blasters, trying to utilize a lot of control over the center stage, while Bayonetta certainly has a lot more devious combos thanks to the resets of the top platform being on the line. Link can control center so much more easily, and when you're controlling center, you shut down the availability of afterburner kick and dive kick a lot more. Not to say that they're completely useless, of course, they're insane moves, but you have a lot more places to cover yourself and to try and avoid so much of the sharking witch. But here she is, GrlyTeenQueen, starting off with yet more strings. Nothing too crazy right now.
I respect the read option right there coming out from DeltaForce charging the forward smash, because if that whiffed, he actually didn't get punished for it because the afterburner kick wound up going to the other side instead, recognizing that Bayonetta would have been in lag. So very good situational awareness from them. And that was actually a really good textbook Battlefield thing that you were talking about as far as DeltaForce goes, because he knows, right? I always say that on this stage, oh my goodness, is the pressure immaculate on the part with the constant 1-2s coming out from Fair 1 and 2 on part of GrlyTeenQueen.
I'm going to say it. I think he earned it, but Bayonetta said no. That falling out of the rapid jab, which can close out stocks, and in turn, you lose your one opportunity. You find it immediately after, but instead of this being a like 100 and DeltaForce starting his next stock, it's instead a fully even game here, Nintendo's.
Absolutely, my friend. It was a crazy mix-up to see, and that's the kind of stuff that GrlyTeenQueen is going to need on a stage, because a stage like this, I mean, because if there's anything I say about Battlefield is that depending on the matchup, it can make your opponent's landings just that much linear. Like you were talking about all the scenarios where like a lot of more options are going to be covered from DeltaForce because, oh, downwards ABK might not, you know, be as big of a threat because now, like, you know, GrlyTeenQueen's going to land on the platform. Right. I have a sword. I can just go underneath that and maybe just potentially up smash him for it. So not only that, but those little mix-ups on the ground is what GrlyTeenQueen is really going to need. But you got to remember, the other end of the foot is very, very scary, because Bayonetta can sort of land on platforms and continue some ladder strings on a stage like this as well as land quicker out of these options, so she can keep the pressure going with moves like guns before landing on the platforms earlier. Because I don't know if you noticed, because despite this being DeltaForce's counterpick, GrlyTeenQueen firmly in the lead right now after those two combos.
And this is the danger and ever-presentness of Bayonetta. Your average kill percent is generally going to be in the 150s to 180s. Like that's just how it works. But the trade-off for the high average kill percent isn't actually the amount of neutral wins that you have to make, because in 2 neutral wins, DeltaForce is already at 100.
Yeah.
So it kind of averages out as long as GrlyTeenQueen is able to kind of settle down and find something like an up tilt back here, while DeltaForce has plenty of opportunities to utilize a higher rage count to close down a Bayonetta who doesn't have a lot of weight behind all of that movement.
Kind of makes you think about just how they balance Bayonetta in this game, like you pretty much just adjusted it. You know, like, yeah, like we'll nerf her kill power a little bit, but this character, we designed her to be able to get this crazy damage off of one interaction, and that's what we're going to do, as well as some pretty solid ledge trapping. I thought they were baiting for the forward throw right there, just holding shield right in front of the ledge. Oh, looking like we're waiting. Yo, come on. No, you don't got to do that, man. You don't got to. All right? There's forward throw. There's the up smash. Why do the Bayo players have to make you think about it harder? They already immobilized you. They already literally immobilized you, so you're already stuck thinking about it for longer than you have to, but then it's even more. Sick mind games coming out from GrlyTeenQueen right now. What a way to advance to winners finals.
Not only was it clean, but also theoretically it was optimal, because when you're running up there to try and grab a when you get the witch time and you see your opponent holding shield, they can buffer the spot dodge.
That DeltaForce did that in game 1. You're right. You're right. I completely forgot about that.
They wait out the witch time, wait for the panic option,
my God.
and still find the follow-up. Unfortunately, the up tilt only got up tilt 1 instead of getting the full follow-up, but still the full coverage is there as GTQ has to find not only which times to close out stocks, but also what are they doing during the witch time? Did you witch time their intangibility? Because then you can't do anything.
I was at Korean barbecue the other night after Nebula, right?
Damn, I'm jealous.
And somebody it's okay. I've had better K barbecue before. It wasn't bad, but it was no cast iron. I'll tell you that much.
Valid.
And somebody brought up the discussion of who the worst player base is, like for who their character. That's what Hungry said. That's what our Hungry said. And then everybody at the whole table simultaneously, true.
It's valid.
We're like, this character should be running the game, but he's not. And you want to know what the polar opposite of that, in my opinion? It's the damn Bayo players. They took this character from her former glory to obscurity after